Let's dive into all of the current Spyra water guns and see how they differ from one another. This is without question the coolest water gun in the world, as this German brand finally put some innovation into water guns to make them a far cry from my Super Soaker days in the mid 90s. Now, rather than shooting a stream of water, Spyra shoots bursts of water at about 34 PSI. It's a unique characteristic that's going to be found in the Spyra 2, which is an improved version of their OG model, the Spyra 3, which is their latest and greatest, and then the LX, which is kind of their non-electronic option. Now, we're going to dive into all of these, but we're going to start with the Spyra 2. Now, again, this is their OG model that was kind of like upgraded and re-released. It's an electronic water gun that charges via USB-C. And what's really cool about this is that it offers a fully automatic reload system. All you have to do is submerge the front end of the blaster into some water and then push the trigger forward. You'll hear the inner mechanics kick on and start to suck in the water through its filtered port. Now at the top is a digital gauge that tells you the water levels that you're going to be working with, which at the end of your refill should be at 100, right? After each shot, that gauge will drop down little by little until you need to refill. Now on a full load, I counted roughly 22, 23 shots that you can get off before needing to refill. Now, one thing to note is you may be tempted to use water from anywhere, especially like during pool days with your friends and your family, but it is recommended that you use regular just hose water rather than chlorinated or, like treated water to maintain the longevity and the integrity of the gun long term. Now, again, this is shooting at about 34 PSI, give or take. And most people are going to ask two main things with regards to that. How far does it go and does it hurt? To answer the first, each shot is going about 30 feet or so, and that's comparable across all of the blasters, the 2, the 3, and the LX. Regarding the second question, does it hurt?
How does that feel?
Actually, it doesn't hurt. I mean, it's got a little bit of a bite to it, but it doesn't hurt.
Yeah, there you go.
You definitely don't want to like take one in the face or the nose at close proximity though, because water firing up the nostril isn't a good feeling, just generally, whether it's from Spyra or not. Otherwise, close range shots don't hurt. So that's the rundown of the Spyra 2. It's a fantastic blaster. But how does it differ from the 3 and the LX, right? The only downside with the 2 is basically just inconsistent rate of fire, right? It's really good for single shot bursts, but if you're trying to go like super fast with that trigger finger, you might not be able to have it keep up with you. And that's where the 3 really sets itself apart. The Spyra 3 is the latest and greatest that functions very similarly to the 2, but introduced 3 different modes to toggle. You've got League, Burst, and Open. Open offers unrestricted shooting that can keep up with your rate of fire. Burst mode fires off 3-shot bursts. That is super fun, but it does drain your tank a little bit faster. And then League is their official play mode that has a restricted rate of fire. So, kind of similar to the Spyra 2, where it kind of locks you out for a few seconds to reload. And then that mode also gives you access to this extra power shot, where you hold the trigger for 3 seconds and then you can have a bigger burst shot. Now, if you were to go with only one option out of all the blasters that we're talking about here, the Spyra 3 is my absolute favorite. I think it's the best one listed on here. But that leads me to the last one, right? Which is the LX. This is going to be their manual version of the 2 other options that we highlighted earlier. And it's also 2 pounds lighter, as it's basically been shed of all of its internal electronic components. Now, while the 2 and the 3 were offered at $149 and $179 respectively, the LX is coming in slightly lower at $79. From a full charge with the 2 and the 3, it'll give you about 2,000 blasts or so, which can last a few hours depending on how intense you're playing, how long you're playing. With the LX, you've got an unlimited amount of time, as it functions more like a traditional water gun without any electronics, but you're still getting those cool water bursts as opposed to streams. So still a very cool experience to be playing with the LX. Now, obviously with this model, you don't have an automatic refill system. Instead, you're using a pump at the rear to fill it back up. And then along the side is a meter to help gauge your water levels. Now, little kids will probably have a harder time, as it does take, quite a bit of force to pump. So I see this being a better option for older kids or just adults who our kids, basically me. You're gonna have a longer pump time compared to the automatic fill, and you'll notice that the trigger is a little bit larger as well and needs 2 fingers. It takes a little bit more force to pull the trigger compared to the electronic firing from the 2 and the 3. Again, this is gonna be much more ideal for older kids. Our 6-year-old, he definitely struggled in trying to play with the LX model versus the 2 and the 3. The thing about the 2 and the 3 though is that they're heavier, so he had a hard time like lifting it and shooting it. So again, Spyra in general, I would say much better for older kids. So there you have it. Hopefully that gives you a good idea of how all 3 Spyra options function. Now, if you hop online, there are a variety of different game ideas that you can try out with your friends and family. So I would definitely encourage you to go try those out. Now, if you are interested in picking up a Spyra, you can use the code dad_verb for a small discount. The link to Spyra is going to be in the description of this video, so go ahead and check that out. If you found this video helpful, smash that like button down there. Looks like a thumbs up. For more videos and reviews for young families, consider subscribing to our YouTube channel. Thanks for watching this one, and come back for the next one. God bless. Later.